headphones, we'll just carefully edit so that it just sounds like we're going insane.
Okay.
Which is an accurate fucking fiction. Good morning and welcome to the Hobbit Breakfast Show, kicking off your morning with Wargaming Chat. Your host, as always, are myself, Onod. We also have the Mayor.
Good morning.
And we also have... And today we're going to be talking about interesting things such as Legendary Legions from that book no one owns.
Bible.
Vanquish.
Brilliant. I can't wait to see more subscribers leaving now.
Really fucking got rid of the Christian audience there. Stay tuned for that. We'll be back in a second. I think the Bible's the most owned book, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It is. Most widely printed book in history.
Hobby. So we are going to be not talking about this because we didn't do it. Yeah, no one's done the hobby. OT is going to maybe have done some by the time though that this is edited. So, OT, do you want to tell us what you were going to do, and then you can then just edit that out if you haven't.
Perfect. Best of both worlds. Well, it's going to be Warramir and Rimley.
Let's see Rimley. Let's see him again.
Mayor's very keen on Rimley.
Oh my goodness. Rimley.
I have to say, the laugh you produced last week when we were talking about Rimley was pretty remarkable.
God.
A massive axe.
Like, I've never heard.
I say, I'm a child.
Well, for legal reasons, let's just point out that you're not.
Legally, I'm not a child, no.
Legally, you are not. But
not sure why our audience needs to know that, but
I think it's
what do you think they're going to do with that information?
Stalk you. Right. Which Legendary Legion do you want to do first? Any preferences? I'm assuming that no one cares.
Let's do
Mummox.
the Wood Elf.
Mummox. Oh, good call. Good call.
I would rather re-review that one with the price increased Mummock than I would go through these 4 ones.
Wow, really
we'll do Rangers though. Right, so let's have a look at some Legendary Legions then. So we're going to start off with the Rangers of Mirkwood. Ooh. I don't know. I was going to say something, then I was just like, I'm not really sure I'm going with that.
You sound like an owl. Ooh. Man.
Oh. Man, it's me, Legolas.
Half man, half owl.
Half elf, half owl.
Fucking owl elf. Oh, do you know in the Hobbit movies? I'm going to just drop in useless Hobbit trivia. Do you know that whilst filming the Lord of the Rings, Orlando Bloom had to have his hair shaved into a mohawk so that they could apply his elf hair, but they didn't have to do that in the Hobbit because his hairline had receded. So, Rangers of Mirkwood. Let's have a look at this. In terms of what you can take, you have 3 hero options: Legolas, Tariel, and an elf captain, a ranger captain. There you go. Ranger captain's not good, in my opinion. And then you have 2 troop options. Wow, so much variety. Rangers of Mirkwood and elf sentinels, which I didn't realize were in this army list. So the more you know. The more you know.
Well, they're Thranduils, aren't they?
But they're in Lothlorien, aren't they, elf sentinels?
But they're also, I think they're also in
Yeah, no, I know. That's what I'm saying. I didn't realise that.
You get access to sentinels, yeah.
Yeah. Good. So you get loads of special rules with this one. So first of all, your bow limit, you can have 100% bow, which is good because all of your models have a bow, so you'd be kind of screwed if that wasn't a rule. You get clear the nests, the hatred spider rule. Oh, the power gamers rejoice.
Yeah.
Spiders OP, remove them from the game. You also get Knife Mastery, which is actually pretty good. Friendly models may reroll ones to wound when making strikes. Additionally, friendly models may use the shielding special rule, even though they're not armed with shields. However, if they elect to shield, they may not use their Knife Fighter or Blade Mistress, which gives them extra dice if they are outnumbered. Shielding, pretty good. Rerolling ones to wound, pretty good. That's like Khazad-dûm's bonus, but also have some shielding too. You also get Masters of the Forest. Whenever a friendly model that's within 1 inch of a tree or within a piece of woodland terrain suffers a wound, roll a 6. On the roll of a natural 6, that wound is ignored, exactly as if a point of fate had been spent. Situational could be useful if there's a word. You're probably not going to get use out of it every game, but it kind of doesn't matter because you've got so many special rules. It's like, never mind. You've then got Silent Ambush. In scenarios where you roll for additional forces to arrive, such as those that use the reinforcements rule, you receive a bonus of +1 to the dice roll for your warbands for the Central Legion. In scenarios where you roll to see which part of the board your warband's poison, you may modify the dice roll by +1 or -1. Pretty good, useful, excellent. And then finally, you get the Prince of Mirkwoods. Legolas gains the Knife Fighter special rule part of the Central Legion, which is pretty nice for Leggy as a buff. And that concludes the Legendary Legion. Yes. This is like, you can see that they've developed Legendary Legions because they've gone, like, if you look at the older books, they would have got like maybe 1 or 2 of these rules, and then it would have been shit. And then here they've gone like, yeah, we need to just give them everything. And that was the right call, even if it does involve having to remember quite a lot of special rules. But they get the fluffy ones and they get the useful ones. And it's like, yeah, that's well done. Thoughts then on the Rangers?
It's just budget Rangers of Athelion.
It is improved Rangers of Athelion.
I think it's cooler than Rangers of Athelion.
Not cooler. Ooh,
I
cooler.
think it is. I think it is cooler.
Anything from the Hobbit movies is less cool automatically. Just to be clear.
Than anything else.
Than anything else in the entire world, except maybe Star Wars sequels, which are also pretty trash.
Wow. We can agree.
With all the controversial opinions this evening.
Really yeah, I mean, they're fun-ish. I guess with shooting armies, they always kind of run into that issue of you're just kind of gonna sit behind a wall and fire some bows.
Well, ideally behind a tree.
Well, yeah, if you can find a tree, perfecto. I think that this one's a bit more interesting because they can do a bit of combating. Like, I think Ranger of Athelion is like you're just gonna throw like a bucket of dice each turn. This one's like you want to pick off enough that you can then close and finish the deal, because they're fine in combat. It's just low defense.
Are they?
Yeah.
Is strength 3 D3 fine?
You're getting L fight, so you will probably win more than you will lose against regular warriors. You're getting Knife Fighters, so if they do have, say, Goblin Town ganging up against you, you just get more dice, which increase your likelihood to win. You're re-rolling ones to wound, and if you are against an opponent where you're fucked, you can now shield. They're pretty good. I would say.
I don't know. I think D3 is just really problematic.
D3 is an oof, but I think because you get Stalk Unseen from the Elven Cloaks, if you're playing this properly, you're gonna be hiding, shooting enough that you can then close and finish off the ones that are left. And to be honest, like low points, you can probably kill enough of your shooting to break them.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I bizarrely, I think one of the biggest weaknesses is that the captain doesn't have March.
Yeah, it's a shame that the captain didn't get March. I think that would have been nice.
Because you basically have Legolas and Tyrell do the same thing, accuracy and striking. You didn't need another hero with accuracy. And like, I think actually March would be really useful in this list for just getting to like terrain and stuff like that, which is, I guess, where you really want to be. Yeah, I don't know. I think I think you'd be all right. I think you're gonna struggle. Like, I think you would get. Would you get outshot? I don't know. It's just like if this went like I'm thinking against Riv Knights, like they would be wounding you on 4s and you'd be wounding them on 6s.
Yeah, but if you're playing this properly and you've got terrain, your Riv Knights would not be able to shoot them unless they close really close.
But I mean, not every board's going to have a wood, for instance. Like,
No,
you can't guarantee that.
I don't think that rule really matters. I think that's along with the spiders, the least good rule in this. That's a trick. If you're trying to get that rule for a 6-up save, you're playing it wrong, because the wood's probably not going to be in the right place. You're going to be cocking around, putting your elves in it, just fucking sitting behind a wall where they can't be shot anyway, and just fucking do them with your strength 3 bows.
Yeah,
that is Onod's seal of approval right there.
Well, you're thinking of collecting this, aren't you?
Well, no, I said that it was nice to collect because you can do it 100% plastic, but I don't have any plans. Improvements then, March on Captain, anything else we can think of? I think there's just so many rules. It's like, other than just making it stronger, there's not really much else it needs, I don't think.
Yeah.
I think the bonuses on attacks is going to be really strong, because one of the things elves suffer with is lack of numbers, and these especially will. So that will just make up for it in combat, and they're really good at shooting anyway.
They get that anyway in combat, we should just point out.
Yeah. Do they have access to a banner?
No. And I think that was something as well that I thought of. I think it'd be cool if like Wood Elf Sentinels could sing a song that enables them to be a banner.
Use a will point or something. Or give them, make like a minor hero or something.
Sentinels don't need will points, they just sing their songs anyway.
You could make Legolas and Tariel banners if they're in combat.
Yeah.
I like the if they're in combat idea.
Something bannery would be
yeah. That would give
but then I don't actually know how competitively viable this is. Like,
I think they're pretty good at low to mid.
Yeah, I think they're good low to mid. I saw someone take it at the weekend and it did fairly well.
Yeah.
So then maybe it doesn't need a strict like buff. Maybe if you buffed it, you also need some kind of nerf. I don't really know what that would be though.
I think they're just so squishy. Like, as soon as you're going to start losing combats, you're going to lose models very quickly.
Yeah, I think you just want to keep your distance as much as possible in skirmish until you feel confident you can jump into combat, though, don't you? But anyway,
what's good against this? What would counter Mirkwood Rangers, do we think? What would be particularly good against it?
Druiden, because you don't get Stalk Unseen.
Stalk Unseen, nice. There we go. This is where it eventually reaches, when it's the meta counter to the meta counter.
Yeah, it's the only
Druiden is the true answer.
Assault on Lothlorien is probably quite good because limit their shooting, and then you kind of take away the only thing that they can do. Yeah, I think from a collecting point, this is quite good because there's so much plastic.
Yeah,
it's fairly cheap because like the model to pound ratio, 14 points a model, and you get 20 of them. So you're getting 280 points for 30 quid.
Yeah.
Pretty good. It's almost 10 points a pound.
Yeah. No, that's true.
So
it's not, to be fair, for a Hobbit region. For a Hobbit Legion, it's quite inoffensive. Like, it's actually it's actually fine. The others less so, but this one's okay.
Let's move on to another. So, shall we have a look at Azog's Legion? I see you are taking us through
Azog. Oh, am I? That's interesting. Right, okay, hang on. Let me just open my book.
Because I don't have the book in front of me, even though I just read out.
Yeah. No, I remember I sent you pictures earlier. Yeah, I forgot about that.
OT, do you want to take us through the pits of Dol Guldur?
No, not really. But the responsibility has fallen to me. Hang on, let me just open my book.
Great sound effects.
Thank you. So this I don't know what the fuck it's based on. It's some shit from The Hobbit.
What is this based on, actually?
Yeah, what is?
I don't know. They just had to have something with Azog in, didn't they?
Yeah, they did, because
he wasn't standing on a rock.
Shit already. So you can take Azog on his white warg. So that's 2 named heroes. out of the 4 available to this legion. You can also take the Keeper of the Dungeons and Thrain the Broken, who some people discount, but they do so unfairly. It's important to remember him. You can put Felwargs in, you can have Good and Bad Orcs, and you can have Hunter Orcs. Da-na.
Yay!
So why would you take this? It's a good
Don't.
question. Yes.
Oh.
So the bonuses. Once per game, this one's called Surprise Attack. Once per game, before priority is determined, Azog can declare he's using this ability. You don't roll for priority, you automatically win it, and the enemy models can't declare heroic moves. So it's like the Palantir, but even better.
That is quite good. Oh,
Yeah.
sorry. We'll save. Yeah, go through all of them, and then I'll jump in.
Yeah.
Sorry.
We're almost sounding too enthusiastic, aren't we? The Magical Void. That's not a great name for a rule, I've got to be honest. That sounds a bit 40k for my liking. Friendly models gain the Resistant to Magic special rule. And Fury of the Pale Orc, Azog can declare heroic combat each turn without spending might, which I think you'll probably be doing a lot of, because he doesn't often need to strike, because he's fight 7, because he's better and more important than Aragorn.
He is. What is the regular army rule for Azog's blokes?
In the basic one, it's the leader of the army. If it's him or Bolg, get Master of Battle with no plus.
Is a free heroic combat better than Master of Battle?
It's pretty good. I mean, they're both might gaining things, aren't they?
Master of Battle's a lot more flexible, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like the big loss in this one is like, I mean, because Azog's really interesting because obviously he's super powerful, but he is only D5, 3 wounds, 1 fate. So actually, him not having heavy armor when a lot of the army is going to revolve around him, and particularly when one of them relies on him still being alive, possibly not ideal.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
The issue I have with these rules is that priority rule sounds really cool. Declaring, like, you don't roll for priority, instead you win. Like, that's good. And the fact they can't call heroic moves against it, I just don't know that.
It's just a good Palantir, isn't it?
It is, yeah. It's just a slightly better Palantir. But then,
is Resistant to Magic good enough to like make that difference? Then, if it doesn't feel like all these rules are just random because they couldn't think of anything.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because like we're not clear on what period of time this is based on. We're not clear like what the point of it is. Like,
so
there's a legion called Azog's Legion. Why does this exist?
The designer's notes say this legendary legion represents the forces of the Necromancer that occupied Dol Guldur before being unleashed upon the Lonely Mountain. The force is led by the Pale Orc Azog, who commands the Dark Lords, blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, it is before they move out, hence having the dungeon dude.
I don't really understand this idea of a magical void, though, because don't the White Council turn up and do a load of magic?
Maybe this is before that.
Oh.
I mean, do we care?
Personally, I don't think those rules are worth the limitations on unit choice and equipment.
I would agree.
Yeah, and they don't feel themey. It doesn't feel like because like this army doesn't fight anyone when they exist, so it's just
incorrect.
Weird it exists.
They fight Gandalf.
They fight Gandalf, yeah, who's clearly an army in himself.
They gank Gandalf.
They gank Gandalf. So yeah, it doesn't feel like a moment where a battle had happened. It's a bit like the Woses. It's like, well, the Woses and Theoden kill like a couple of Orc scouts and that's it. It's not really an army in the same way that this is like just an occupying force that was in a fortress. And because they didn't fight anyone, there's nothing special about them, which is why all the special rules are so random.
It's dumb because they should have just done Azog's Battle of 5 Armies, but because they called the source book Fallen Necromancer, they didn't want to do that.
No. You reckon they're just making up whatever
I think they wanted to force it into this theme, and they did 3 legendary legions which vaguely fitted in, and then they were like, oh shit, there's not really anything else to do, is there?
Mm.
The other thing is,
even the Mirkwood Range is a bit of a stretch, isn't it?
Yeah. And like, when let's take an Legion, you can't ally. Like, it has quite limited allegiances anyway. Like, it can ally with Azog's Hunters, which I guess is his like weekend job after he's working 9 to 5 on his Legion, and the Dark Powers of Dol Guldur. Like, oh, it's just. I mean, it does make you realize actually maybe that we're being slightly unfair on that Mirkwood one, because like it's not actively stupid and it is fairly good. Whereas this to me feels dumb as hell. I'm sorry, but like I'm not a fan.
At least Mirkwood can represent lots of different things, because Mirkwood can represent the barrel scene. It can represent the scene.
Oh, what a scene! What a scene! I really want to think about that more when I'm playing the game.
You're welcome. The scene where they capture the dwarves. It can represent just them in Mirkwood, like. Because I would just run that and be like, yeah, fuck the fucking Hobbit films. This is just Legolas and some bros.
Yeah.
Although Legolas wasn't in the Hobbit book, so you are.
He was alive at the time, though. Hence, how they were able to pay Orlando Bloom a ludicrous amount. That's sweet feet, man. Just remember, Aragorn was alive too. They could have had child Aragorn, but they didn't.
Yeah.
They restrained themselves, thank God.
The other problem with this Legion is that you've got to take Captain Hook, and as you two pointed out in the previous video, he's a shit model. Yeah. So your best, the model you've always got to take is might as well be Captain Hook.
Expensive shit. Your troops are expensive if you want the good ones, because you're going to want to run some of the gun to battle orcs.
You're going to have gun to battle orcs and hunter orcs.
Definitely. In terms of improving that one, then
remove it.
Yeah, it's one way.
Make
just
it
like
an actual theme.
Yeah.
Just change it and have it when they're attacking Battlefield armies.
Is there actually not one where it's just
no, because they've never done a source book. This is the only source book based on the Hobbit. Yeah. Because they know
Gandalf.
They know it won't sell. They know they don't want to admit it, but they know that the Lord of the Rings source books will sell and the Hobbit ones won't.
I think the only reason this is a source book is so that because they know people will buy it for the vanquishers. Yeah.
But they've even started converting the Hobbit armies into War of the Ring time period armies. That's what Defense of the North is. Defense of the North is we've got a load of plastic sculpts that we need to shift.
Yeah.
Make them War of the Ring so that people don't have to imagine the Hobbit when they play this.
I like that though.
Yeah, no, it's genius. I like it too.
I'd stop short of genius.
It kind of is smart. It's definitely
it's a smart move for sure.
It's definitely smart.
But they dug themselves the hole. Like, let's not give them credit for getting out of it.
Yeah.
They were like, shit, we're not selling any Iron Hills dwarves because they're so expensive.
Yeah.
Shit, we've got 200 Dragon Emperors to shift. Don't fucking nerf it, for the love of God.
I reckon the Dragon Emperor should. You know, you can get a 3D sculpted Dragon Emperor for like 30 quid.
Oh, right.
Yeah, except Gino will spit on your face whenever you go near a tournament.
They won't know.
Not that many tournaments are actually run by GW for Middle Earth.
No, but they hire people to go to local tournaments and spit on people walking through the door.
That makes sense.
Because of all the money they made from the Dragon Emperor.
That is still bad. Yeah. Yeah. Get rid of this Legendary Legion. That's our takeaway. Good. Let's do the one where the Ring Wraith, he looks like a jester. Because that was a good fucking choice.
I really hope somebody's done a version of this with juggling balls.
This Legion is actually good, and I will reveal why after Mare has told us.
One weird thing, the bloody Keeper of the Dungeon is in the photo for this, which is a bit weird. He's not
he's in the list. No, he is in the list.
He is in the list because it happens to He was just around. He was just generally around.
He seems so out of place.
Yeah,
they had the costume, and they could make a deleted scene with him. It's like, why not?
So for this army, you can take the Necromancer, as you would expect, the Nazguls, the Keeper of the Dungeon, and Castellans of Dol Guldur. I'm not that familiar with the Castellans. It sounds interesting.
They're like robots.
They're like robots. Okay.
And that's not even a joke. I'm not even fucking with you. They are like robots, like 100%.
So you have to.
Why are you getting your Lord of the Rings book out? That's not going to help you. Is that just for your comfort? They just go to your happy place.
Yeah, I'm just reminding myself why I like this game.
You're always deployed as a single warband with the Necromancer as the warband's captain. makes sense. Special rules. His spirit has lost none of its potency. Whenever the Necromancer attempts to cast a magic power by expending one or more will points, he automatically adds an extra 3 will points to the casting test. So that sounds like you just get to roll an extra die. Weird way of saying that. Power of the Necromancer. Friendly models gain the resistance to magic rule. Additionally, the Necromancer can attempt to cast 2 magic powers each turn rather than 1. However, he may not attempt to cast the same magic power twice, or target the same enemy model twice. The Dark Lord returns. The Necromancer increases his attack's characteristic to 2 when part of this legion. I mean, going from 1 attack to 2 when you're not going to want to be in combat isn't a big deal, really. But the other 2 are really nice. So it's just bust for the Necromancer, basically. And if you're taking... I mean, can you only take the Necromancer and the Nazguls in this legion, or are they a faction on their own?
They are a faction on their own.
Dark Powers of Dol Guldur exists.
And what's their bonus?
Whenever the Necromancer of Dol Guldur attempts to cast, his spirit has lost none of its potency. It's the same as the first rule for this legion. Sorry,
Okay.
yeah.
Well,
So
if
it's
you're
exactly the
taking
same.
this army, I mean, it's one of those, like, if it exists in an army list, and you're taking it as that. The only thing that's different is the Castilians, right? And the
they're in it as well.
Oh, they are. So it's just
nothing,
is it just
nothing changes? It's strictly
nothing
better.
changes?
Nothing changes.
What,
You just
the
can't.
dungeons in there as well?
Yeah.
So what is the point in taking
This can't ally with people, so you
Okay.
don't get Azog on the weekends.
Okay, but like this. So when you take the Necromancer, your guys come back on like a 2+, don't they?
Yeah.
Instead of a 3.
Yeah.
So you're at medium to low points, you're just taking Necromancers and Necromancers, Nazgul.
Nazgul. Mhm.
And then at higher points, you're taking the Necromancer, at which point you'll just take this Legion. I can't
Yep.
see anyone ever trying to run the Keeper of the Dungeon or Castilians with this.
Yep.
It just doesn't make sense because you just want to max out on the Nazgul and max out on the combos you can get.
We should also point out that it was FAQ'd that the Nazgul can heroic strikes. They're even better.
Well, all of them.
Well, they're just the same profile.
Okay, but has Strike been added to their profile?
Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't initially have any heroic.
Because it used to be the Keeper of the Dungeons had heroic strike, and therefore there was a reason to take him. But now
there's even less reason. Well, to be fair, players used to just it's not. It's
not be fair.
What I'm saying is adding strike. Adding strike probably doesn't matter because players would keep the might points back because you can use them to influence your rolls. So when I was playing people who use this, they just even when they could use a might to win a fight here or there, they're really reserved using it because they know they're going to need it to get back up. And when you're rolling 2+, like you're just always going to want to keep a might or 2 back, and it's going to mean you're less likely to use strike, I think. And because I'm guessing the Necromancer has transfix, does he?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean, you can just transfix the hero you want to kill instead of trying to strike over them.
He transfixes on a 2+.
Okay, so and because he can now do 2 magic powers, like you're pretty much always going to be able to block that hero. So I don't think strike really adds anything, to be honest.
It's nice to have the utility.
Yeah, definitely.
Here's what makes this Legendary Legion acceptable. You take the 9 Nazgul from Forge World for £119. You throw them in the bin, and you buy instead the Lord of the Rings Nazgul.
Yeah.
Wow.
For a cheap £52.50 they currently sit at, which is still very expensive, but not as
distinct. Are you saying you'd still run this Legion, but with those models?
Just use the Lord of the Rings Nazgul, which look nicer, and are cheaper.
And then, how are you distinguishing them? Different coloured bases.
You don't need
a little badge.
They're all the same.
They're not the same. They all have different profiles. There are only 2 that are actually different. So 2 of them are the same as each other. Everyone else is different. They all have 2 of them can teleport with each other. 2 of them are better in combat. They've all got different things. So They are all different, so you'd have to distinguish them in some way. That's why
Just
they all
make them a little badge.
weird. Yeah, a little badge.
I'm
little
Kumo.
name
Nice
badge.
to meet you.
I'm Steve. Yeah.
Just put something on their base then. Oh, I didn't realize they had fucking lame individual things. Oh, this makes me
Yeah.
No,
hate.
they're not lame. Witch King of Angmar, Camul the Easterling, the Dark Headsman, the Forsaken, the
Why
Lingering
have they got
Shadow, the
different
Abyssal Knight,
names
the
to the
Slayer
other
of
ones?
Men. Because they're based on a terrible film franchise and they're doing
Thank
they
you.
could.
Yeah, but why didn't GW just go? Yeah, we'll just use our names because
Just
Because
it's
they
less
knew it wouldn't
interesting.
sell, so they didn't care.
Mhm.
And they were banking on nobody buying this book, so it didn't actually matter.
No, I think I actually quite like that they've got different profiles. Just because it makes it a little bit more interesting.
I am interested.
by this rationale,
It makes it
though,
more interesting.
Oh.
That doesn't
By
mean
this-
It's interesting.
by this logic, it's actually 60 Nazgul though. Like
No,
you,
because some of them are the same.
you can bring 60 named Nazgul.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
no, you
because
can't. No, you can't.
but
They're limited. They're limited. You can't. You can only take a certain number of each one.
no, I'm not saying that you could actually run as an army, but I'm saying in the Lord of the Rings there are 60 named Nazgul.
Well, some of these ones turn into the ones later on.
Oh, they turn into them. This is
assume.
classic. This is classic creating bullshit for fucking lazy.
I'm just telling you what I
concept.
think is happening here. Like there are 9 of them, and then there are 9 later on, so they all turn into those guys.
No, that's
I mean, that's clearly what's happened.
head canon isn't real canon.
One of them has a trident, and 2 of them had elven made swords.
Elven made swords. That's quite useful.
Good. Right, let's do Vanquishers of the Necromancer. OP plus nerf. There's my review.
I don't think they're OP. They got a lot of rules and a lot of very good rules.
OP.
They're going to lose a lot of scenarios. Who's doing this one then?
Oh god.
I can do it.
Yeah, go on.
So, army composition: Saruman the White, Galadriel, Gandalf the Grey, Elrond, Radagast. He can take a sleigh, so that's nice, I guess.
Yeah.
Can
They
you
have
take
to spell the
Sebastian?
model.
It just says sleigh, so
No Sebastian.
I'm guessing not.
Isn't Sebastian included?
No. Yeah, see, he's a 5-point upgrade for a 1 strength, 1 attack.
Why?
Because Sebastian's ill, so he leaves him
He's
there.
dead.
Does he die?
Got run over by the sleigh. It's a deleted scene.
Radagast just launched him into fucking Necromancer.
So, special rules. Are you in need of assistance? Gain a bonus of +1 to resist tests if they're within 6 inches of another friendly model. Masters of Magic. Friendly models may attempt to cast magic powers. So I'm reading this from the book, and it's definitely not pixelated.
Oh
You should
no.
put your glasses on.
Yeah, I just need to squint really hard. Friendly models maybe that's make, I don't know. May attempt to cast magic powers even if they're already engaged in combat. Okay, so casting in combat, really good, because even if you lose a move off, you can cast stuff. Meddle not in the affairs of wizards. The attacks characteristic of wizard models in this legion is always equal to their remaining wounds. Holy shit. So that means what? They all have like 3 attacks?
Yeah.
Right? Okay.
Well, I guess it goes down though if they get wounded, doesn't it? But yeah, that's how it works.
Yeah. And this is actually a debuff to Elrond, is it? Because he starts with 3 usually?
He's not wizard.
He's not a wizard. Okay, brilliant. Lady of the Golden Wood. Galadriel may target any enemy model with the what is that? Something magic powers? What does that say?
I don't know. I can't see what you're looking at.
Fucking brilliant. Oh, here we go. I've moved to a different timestamp and it looks a bit better.
We've moved to a different.
Banishment. I'll just start this rule again. Lady of the.
No, just keep going. I
No,
can't be
all
on.
the text looks really good now. It's fine. I
Oh,
put my
okay.
glasses back on. Lady of...
Suddenly, it's gone to 1080p.
Lady of Golden Wood. Galadriel may target any enemy model with the banishment magic power as if it were a spirit model. Wow, that's really good. Non-spirit models targeted by Galadriel's banishment gain a single free point of will to immediately resist. Additionally, friendly models within 3 of Galadriel gain resistance to magic. Then we have the Grey Warrior. Gandalf gains the Fearless special rule. Furthermore, friendly models within 3 of Gandalf cannot have their courage value reduced by enemy magic powers or special rules, which is really flavoursome and a bit spicy. Lord of Imladris. Elrond may declare a heroic strike every 5 phase without expending might. Wow, that's fucking good. What is going on? This legion's insane. Additionally, other friendly models within... like, why are there so many rules? Additionally, other friendly models within 3 of Elrond count as being in range of a banner. Christ. Then we've got... sorry, I've got to go to a different timestamp. Magic powers...
Different page.
Different page.
Sorry, it's the same page. Magic powers each turn... I can't read it.
Fucking Jesus fuck.
Too small.
Oh, this book is so shit already. What the fuck is happening?
Saruman may attempt to cast 2 magic powers each turn rather than 1, but may not attempt to cast the same magic power twice or target the same model twice. Isn't this the same as someone else? What's going on?
Yes, that's the same as the Necromancer from the last one.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. Additionally, when other friendly models within 3 of Saruman attempt to cast a magic power, they may reroll a single d6. Remembering all these rules for someone who's already using 3 casters is going to be insane. Protector of the Greenwood. Once a turn, at any point in his move, Radagast may choose a single model in base contact with him and roll a d6. Does that mean he has to have charged them, presumably?
He wants to heal them. So no.
Oh, sorry. I should have kept reading. On a 4 or 5, the chosen model regains a wound lost early in the battle. On a 6, the model regains all lost wounds. That's quite good, because especially as your attacks rely on your wounds. Additionally, friendly models within 3 may move through difficult terrain without penalty. God, these guys are like some weird death ball. It's insane. Go back to the void from whence you came. Once per game, if Galadriel has at least 1 will point remaining, Galadriel may choose to expend her full power instead of casting a magic power. If she does so, then she immediately casts the channeled version of the banishment magic power, which is good, as we already know she can do it on anyone, which cannot be resisted. Oh, that's even better. Models may use fate to prevent these wounds immediately as normal. However, immediately after casting the banishment magic power in this way, place Galadriel prone and reduce her will to 0. Additionally, you remember, because in the movie she does that and then she falls over. The rest of the battle, she does not benefit from the Lady of Lothlorien and whatever other special rules. Wow, that was a lot.
And because that was too powerful, we then have the FAQ editions. So the Vanquisher's Necromancer must always include Galadriel, Gandalf, and Saruman counts as the army's leader. And you cannot cast in combat Sorcerer's Blast, Wrath of Brunnen, or Nature's Wrath magical powers.
Good.
So
okay.
And it's also the reason why fucking Wrath of Brunnen and Nature's Wrath were nerfed. So indirectly, this has nerfed our list.
Surely, did it really? Surely they weren't nerfed just because of this.
I mean, this was one of the most toxic legions in the game for quite a while. Like people,
like a couple of months.
Well, so but because what you could do was run into people, and even if you're in combat, do a 6-inch channeled Wrath of Brunnen, hitting everybody around you and knocking them down. Strength 3.
Yeah, it was good. Yeah, but now our shit list
is even worse.
It's fucked.
Arwen on normal horse.
It's okay though because I'm not playing with Hobbit miniatures. Yeah, it's really good. and it's not too expensive. I mean, you're having to buy like hero sculpts, so there's a little bit of a tax there. And even with the changes, it's fine. It's just not like tournament winning anymore. It's difficult to manage, as Mayor pointed out. Oh my god! Like if you were going to create a legion that was more complicated than a Black Riders, congratulations, you did it.
Nailed it.
Black Riders isn't even that complicated by this standard.
Well, yeah. Black Riders is like you have to make a lot of decisions, but at least all the profiles have the same magical powers.
And all the rules are like fairly simple to understand.
This is like an amalgamation of Breaking of the Fellowship and Black Riders.
Yeah.
It's just as complicated as the most complicated parts of both of those.
Yeah, I feel like just like a couple of strong buffs would have been enough to make this.
I think the wizards getting more attacks and being able to cast magical powers in combat was probably enough. Just leave it there.
I like Elrond's strike banner thing. I'm a fan of that. But I'm not a fan of the other bullshit.
So because he's a banner. I mean, because you've got to take the 3 casters first. That's what, like 470 points? No, 570 points.
That's why they included that, so that you couldn't just run.
So unless you're playing like a really high point game, you're not going to have Elrond.
Yeah.
And you're definitely never going to take Radagast.
No.
Fuck Radagast.
He just
Although you do get the sleigh. And if you've paid and painted that fucking miniature, you might as well use it.
But then you're playing like over 1,000 points, aren't you?
Well, you just don't take Elrond. You don't need him anyway. He's shit.
Well, with Elrond, everyone gets 4 attacks, which just seems insane, basically.
And he's striking for free, so unless you're
he's basically always strike 10. Strike 10, yeah. Pretty strong.
Yeah. Improving this one, it doesn't need it.
They should let them take the keeper of the dungeon, obviously.
Yeah. Throw the key for the dungeon in there.
Oh my god, that would have been a really good way to balance it when it was OP. You take the keeper of the dungeon, but he's in your enemy's force, and you have to include him. That would have been a really good way to balance it.
Then don't nerf Rafa Brunnen.
Yeah, please.
That still doesn't sound like a good trade to me.
I think right. It'd make our list better.
I think Thrain the Broken should be in there.
Or you just nerf Rafa Brunnen,
but he's dead
in here.
Is Thrain dead?
No, but as in Thrain would have to be dead if you were taking this, because he's dead in the movie by the time this happens.
I don't remember. I've never seen it.
It's in the extended. Unfortunately, I had to watch it.
Yeah.
Why did you have to?
Yeah, who made you watch it?
Who is this person?
I just need to do it for completion.
Do you need help?
Yes.
I don't think anybody's watched The Hobbit and been like, oh, there was a bit missing from that experience.
Well, I really wanted to see
slower.
the Goblin Town song. That's what I really wanted.
That's a different movie.
Watch it on YouTube.
But then,
I
did. But I needed a larger context. Okay.
What this movie really
needed
for the storyline.
30 minutes of cut content.
Literally every extra scene that was in that movie, I was like, this is an addition, and I can tell because it's way shitter than the rest of the movie somehow.
Yeah.
And it's just so out of place, all the extra stuff. Like at the beginning of the first one, Bilbo is literally just walking around the Shire trying to, I don't know, he's just looking worried and dodgy. And it's like,
I'd rather watch that than fucking Smaug.
I bet Martin Freeman had a great time filming that though.
Yeah.
He just looks like that all the time.
Yeah.
Because I think he was aware he was in a slightly crap movie.
Yeah.
It's the constant fingers to the camera that I'm in love with.
Yeah.
Him and Ian McKellen are just like,
Ian McKellen was in floods of tears half the time because they're just putting him in a green box and being like, "Come on, act."
That fucking clip of Ian McKellen crying is actually heartbreaking.
It really is.
When you consider in Lord of the Rings how much effort they went to so that they could have like hobbits acting in the same
with the cool like pan around,
and then they bring him back and they're like, "Yeah, mate, we couldn't be asked to do that. We didn't have time. So could you now just sit in front of this green blob and pretend that fucking
look, it's Gollum, and just fucking Andy Serkis is there in a green suit."
That's the only bit that they put any fucking effort into was the Gollum scene. That's the only one they did properly, and that's why it's probably a good scene.
Yes. Right, what's next? Are we going to talk about this Legion more? What do we do to fix it? Just get rid of some rules.
I think, just streamline.
Sebastian needs to be in it,
Yeah.
but
Then
not
it's all fine.
attached to
Not
Radagast. He's a
Separate
he's a
model.
he's a throwing
wanderer.
weapon that you can take on one.
Brilliant.
Perfect. Oh, let's rank him. Come on.
Okay.
It's like fucking flogging a dead horse, trying to fucking talk about these more, isn't it?
Yeah, we
Not
really
sure
are
if it's never
completionists. So, can someone explain what the ranking is to me and the viewers who are probably watching this for the first time for some reason?
Yeah,
and
but
have
it's on
somehow
screen-
made it this far through.
It's on screen for them, so they don't need it explained.
Oh yeah.
If you are listening to this, we apologise. It is better most of the time.
No, they've done this to themselves. Like, this isn't our
That's
fault.
true. It is your fault.
They could have stopped listening.
They could have, but
We didn't make
we'd just like to say that we are normally slightly more enthusiastic, only marginally.
Yeah,
I don't
wouldn't
want
notice.
I don't want to oversell us actually,
No,
but yeah.
impossible to
God.
undersell us.
So you've got fantastic at the top. You've then got solid, which has all of them in, average, and whiff.
It should have been a 5-tier system, but we're nearly done.
Yeah.
So this is like Mayor sitting through the extended edition of Desolation of Smaug, whatever the fuck it was called.
These are the
It's like
delete.
complete-
This episode was the deleted scenes of our fucking Legendary Legion reviews. No one wanted it. No one needed it. No one cares about it. But we included it so that you would be able to see the complete process. Let's start off with the wizard one.
We're not doing them in the order we talked them in.
No, we're going to do reverse order.
Oh.
I've just decided for no reason.
That's fun.
Wizards, yes, they are reasonably fluffy. It's basically White Council, but supercharged.
No Celeborn, no Glorfindel.
Yeah, you don't need them though because
because you get the killie from the other stuff.
Like Galadriel's been hitting the gym and she is ready to go.
Yeah.
Is there any reason not to put it in Fantastic?
Yes.
Yeah, but I think besides hating the Hobbit, and I am all for putting all of these in whiff for me, but besides that, I'm not actually sure that is the reason.
Pain in the ass to play and a pain in the ass to play. It's relatively cheap, is it? I mean, can you buy it as a box set? I don't even know.
You can buy the 4 ones you need in a box set. You'd have to get Radagast and his £50.
Okay, no one's going to.
Nobody's using Radagast, unfortunately.
No.
You'd force you to buy every sculptor Radagast ever made in one box because you definitely want to convert him onto an eagle. I guess actually that is quite a good use of him, but if you're buying him for that, you don't want him on a sleigh, do you?
I would put it in solid. Probably near the middle, kind of higher end, maybe just above Black Gates.
I don't like the theme. So even though it is quite accurate to the theme, I don't like the theme. So
yeah, but I don't know that we should just be like, fuck this because we don't like the Hobbit. Like, some people will like the theme.
But I just think this would be so frustrating to play against. I think this would be fucking miserable.
That's why I don't think it can go in Fantastic. I think
okay, I'll accept that. So solid, and it's better than all of the fucking average Rohan that have made up the bulk of solid.
Yeah,
I don't think it's better than Balrog. I prefer Balrog to this.
Yeah, I think maybe just above Eomez.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Good. Azog's whiff.
Yeah,
that shit is trash.
Probably not at the bottom of whiff.
Yeah, it's not worse than Ruffians. That's harsh.
No.
This is at least cheaper to collect.
I think below Woes
can't be that much cheaper. No, it is cheaper.
No, actually, just above Ruffians because what's the guy with the banner? Is that Grey Company? I think at least Grey Company has a decent theme. So
the Grey Company's wank rules.
Yeah, but I mean, Azog.
I think it's under Grey Company.
Yeah, I think so.
But above Ruffians.
The second worst Legion in the game, possibly.
Possibly. We haven't got through them all yet. Although looking at what's remaining, I don't think any of them is going to be.
No, I think
Nazgul boys.
God, I hate to say solid, but I think it might be solid.
the thing is,
solid
as we
too.
pointed out, it just makes the normal one from the book completely irrelevant. Like,
Yeah,
it's objectively better. It's I don't understand
That's
this thing
not-
of like
that's not
we
a good Legendary Legion though, if it just is.
yeah,
better.
I know, but they make these factions. They're like, oh, they weren't quite good enough. Just make a legion that's exactly the same.
Yeah, it's like that's what the FAQ's for, mate. Just okay, FAQ. They never FAQ points in Lord of the Rings.
they have.
Iron
once.
Hills Ballista, that's
Okay.
because it was literally breaking the game.
But in 40k, they do like a points update like every 6 months. And
Yeah,
I'm not
but
saying
that's
that I
because
want
we.
that. I
That's 'cause
don't
they
want
never
that.
anticipate how fucked up it's going to be.
I don't want that. Just to be very clear, I think it's fine. But what I'm saying is if you think that an army is so bad that it needs to be buffed, don't just release a source book of Legendary Legion and just give it a bit of a buff in the FAQs. You know,
Yeah, change some of the wording.
But
Make the banner.
how's that
going
to make them money? That's the question.
because people actually buy the models.
Yeah, that's true.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
But now they'll have to buy a lovely book with it.
That is true. I read something on the internet where it was like Games Workshop isn't a model company; they're a publisher.
Yeah, pretty much.
Nice.
Yeah, no, that's probably true.
Smart. Also,
Whereabouts?
why isn't there like a Thrall's Legendary Legion or something? Like
Because
like,
just because you like dwarfs doesn't mean that they need fucking attention all the time, right?
yeah, but
I think it goes just below the Vanquishers.
You reckon?
I don't want this in solid.
I don't think I like it over
Over here, man.
any as solid, to be honest.
No, I think it's average.
You think it's average?
I think it's just below Mummox for me.
Okay, I'll take that. I think because it's basically shouldn't really be a legion anyway.
Yeah.
And the faction should have just been how it is. And actually, I really hate that they've got the bloody weird other units in there that didn't exist.
Castellans of Dol Guldur.
Yeah, and the bloody.
They actually have a rule called automatons. They're literally just like, I don't know, they're bits of metal held together by Sauron's spirit.
I think that average is a little bit unfair when you look what's an average. And elite, like, this is definitely.
It is cool though, and it is fluffy. The rules are good. I think solid is the right choice personally.
Bottom is solid, very bottom.
Okay.
Rangers.
Oh, we might be looking. Oh, what? We might be looking at a contender for fantastic here.
I think that they might be fantastic.
I think they're at the bottom of fantastic.
I really wish that they were, but I think that they are.
No, I don't think I.
Give us your argument then. Come on.
No.
And
I refuse to believe this is better than Rangers of Ithilien, is all I'm saying. Like, I don't think it is.
We're not talking competitively.
No, but I think this is probably better than Rangers of Ithilien a lot of the time competitively. I'm talking theme wise. Like, I don't think it's as good.
I think if let's imagine a world where the Hobbit movies didn't come out and they released some Hobbit armies and they did the elves, you would be like, yeah, that's quite cool actually. It's like the elves books.
But Legolas wouldn't be in this one.
Well, Legolas is alive, so GW would have been able to use him if they want.
Yeah, but Tolkien hadn't written him into the book, so it literally wouldn't work.
No, but
they still could have done it.
Oh, and Tariel wouldn't exist. Was Tariel made up?
Tariel was made up, but Games Workshop make up characters.
So then this would just be Mirkwood Ranger Captain.
No, because GW make up loads of characters.
I feel like this Legion does a better job of fluffing up the Legion while making it cool than Rangers of Ithilien does.
Yeah.
The extra rules on Rangers, I don't think is as good.
Rangers is just like spamming, and this one feels a bit more like you actually will have to think about stuff.
Because you've got a much bigger weakness in your defense, haven't you? And your models are way more expensive. You can't just spam cheap bowmen. It's a lot more difficult to play, I think. But it could, pay off in a bigger way.
I think from a collection point of view as well, it's a lot cheaper.
Probably.
It's definitely because you can collect pretty much all plastic. The only models you're going to have an issue with, and I use the word issue lightly, is the Wood Elf Sentinels, because they'll be slightly expensive.
Isn't Rangers now all plastic?
Yeah, the Rangers are all plastic.
No, as in Rangers of Ithilien is now all plastic, isn't it?
No, Forge World.
For which bit?
The two heroes.
Mablung
and then it's metal for Frodo, Sam, and Gollum.
You can get resin and plastic Frodo, Sam, and Gollum, can't you?
You'd have to buy 2 packs, so that would not be worth it.
Yeah.
You'd have to
I think it's at the bottom of Fantastic.
Yeah, I think it is too. I just don't think saying, like, I don't like The Hobbit, but I don't think that should rule out something being themey, because this one could just be the Elves of Mirkwoods. And I actually kind of prefer this as the Elves of Mirkwoods.
Like, you could just play it like that, you know?
Yeah, I prefer it just being like the Rangers than all of these like weird armored ones, because I feel like Mirkwoods elves aren't meant to be like that personally.
Bottom of Fantastic it is.
Bottom of Fantastic it is. This is a dictatorship. I do get the ultimate say, as we know.
Right, that's everyone, isn't it?
It's cute that you think that when I do the visuals.
Yeah, it's true. Actually, you're gonna have probably now done some sort of horrific text over the tree in the left, and it is probably calling me something.
Just drawn a massive penis.
Yeah. News, right? So the FAQ. OT's not allowed to speak
because he might rage.
You can go for rage in a moment. It's not that massive, is it? It's like there's a few small things they've done.
Yeah, there's some clarifications, like who has to say first using unique weapons.
Yeah.
There's a clarification for Storm the Camp. How Bjorn changes from man to bear, where you have to put the base. So basically, you can propel yourself forward now. Using the base, because the bear just has to cover any part of the base.
Can I just say that I'm pretty sure we talked about this a few episodes ago.
Yeah. And Jake clarified it the way he played it.
I pointed this out. Yeah,
it's great. Great. You can do that when you write the rules.
Yeah,
it's very convenient.
Just break the game and then retrospectively FAQ it in your favor. Yeah, so that you look like you played it the right way the whole time.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't at me, Jake.
At him. I'm just gonna.
He's definitely listening to this. Yeah. What else happened?
Gothmog got a mace. Hooray!
Yeah, mace. Brilliant.
That was the big issue that we needed to deal with.
Yeah. So their like release page that had, this is what we FAQ'd was basically we've FAQ'd Bjorn, we've allowed you to take the mace, and there was something else. Oh, the Storm the Camp one. That was what they said was the exciting thing, basically. And they're probably right, because there wasn't much else. There were a load of basic clarifications. Nothing changing the Dragon Emperor. So,
and QOT.
I don't think there's a lot to say, really. Like,
you were raging earlier.
How many points?
I know. 170
currently.
Yeah,
okay, he needs to be 200.
Like,
well,
Bjorn is 200.
It's just the lack of acknowledgement of how fucking powerful he is. Like, there's no acknowledgement that it's just ridiculously good. Like, oh my god.
2 words: get good.
No, but it doesn't matter how good you are. He's so consistent, and he's resistant to magic. And he's D7. He's got so many wounds.
He's going on that one severely.
I don't get it. I don't get it. Like, I don't think there's anything fundamentally wrong with the model, but just the fact that he's like, what? If you fully kit, what the fuck's his name? Imrahil, he's like 150 something. And for the same thing, you get resistant to magic, loads of dudes.
Yeah, he's too cheap. I mean, let's compare him, for example, to
Aragorn King Elisar, who is a smaller player, way less wounds, and is not resistant to magic.
I was actually going to compare him.
Fuck.
Let's compare him to the Golden King of Abrakan, who's also on a palanquin. 130 points.
Oh my god, this is going to be
Right, that's
horrific.
fucking
So for
So-
40-point upgrade,
So for a 40 point
No.
upgrade, let's just run through. Golden King is fight 4.
fuck.
The Golden King is strength 4. The Golden King is defense 5.
We know his profile because we did that quiz the other day.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's gonna be our closer today.
Four attacks and 4 wounds, but bearing in mind that, of course, the palanquin with the Eastlings basically has like 6 wounds because you can just spawn them. Courage 4. 2 might, 6 will, 2 fate, but as we know, the 6 will is for his thing. He counts as a banner. He gets burly. He gets heroic resolve, and then he can reduce a target's courage value by 1 for a will point. That's his entire profile. So for 40 points extra, let's now compare him with the Dragon Emperor. Does anyone have the Dragon Emperor's rules on hand?
I've got him right here.
Okay, now let's run through the Dragon.
OT always has that page open.
He's
He's secretly in love with the Dragon Emperor. That's why. He just needs to see him at all times.
It's like a shitty
When he
Norse
comes home from work, he's like, I need
It's
to
a
see
really
him.
toxic love-hate relationship.
The shitty Norse's rom-com. If he hates him, he loves him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like Rachel and Ross in Friends.
Right, go on.
Fight 6, strength 4, D7, 3 attacks,
Yeah.
3 wounds, courage 6, 333.
Yeah.
So instantly, he's already better than 40 points more.
He's got Elven Made Spear and can use the
Yeah.
Feint Vessel rule. He can also shield, because why not? Who fucking cares?
Wait, how many attacks does he have?
He can't fucking support ways on the palanquin surrounded by 6 dudes.
How does he even reach anyone to fight?
I don't know. It's a really like
Yeah.
The Helm of the Dragon Emperor makes him resistant to magic. And his standfast is board wide and affects Eastling hero models.
Wow. Yeah, keep going.
And then you get to the palanquin, which is the stuff that really makes him good. He also have resolve, strike, strength, and defense, which are a really good set of
Basically
heroics.
all the best ones.
Apart from maybe March, but yeah. So the Royal Palanquin is a banner with a range of 12 inches. That's pretty good. Probably worth like 50, 60 points just by itself. And friendly Eastling models within 6 inches get +1 fight.
Wow. Fight 4.
Yeah.
Now,
Or if you make them black dragons, I think they're actually fight 5.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
The reason, though, why they haven't nerfed him is because without him, Eastlings are not that good.
Well,
Fucking
a guy came second
disagree,
with
disagree.
those 2 heroes. I
With
think they're good.
Retardy, yeah, because the other heroes are good too. But I think that,
and they have Amda, and they have the Dragon Knights who are really good as well. Like,
but I think the reluctance to nerf him is because they're kind of going like as an army, you know, because like comparing him with the Golden King of Bracken is fine in the Void, but they're in different armies. But I think the issue is that he's so good that you'd still take him at 200 points probably. So it's like,
Yeah.
why keep him
but then
lower?
your army would be weaker, which I think is the point. Like, it's like 30 points is what 3 fully kitted warriors effectively that you're losing out on. Like, that's quite impactful.
But this guy comes with 6 fully kitted out warriors.
No, I know. Believe me,
Wait,
I know.
Like,
But
even if he was the exact same profile as the Golden King, I mean, even just with this 6 extra guys, he's worth more than 40 points.
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean,
So he should be like 250 points based on like this.
let's just imagine a world where you for some reason dismount him from the palanquin. You are getting 6 free warriors. How many points are 6?
6 black dragons. I mean, it depends. If you run them in the Legion, you actually.
Let's say not in the Legion. Let's say not in the Legion.
Because in the Legion, you get the upgrade for free because he wasn't strong enough already.
In his warband, yeah.
I think there'd be 8 or 9 points.
So you are getting what between 50 and
50, yeah, 50-ish points for free.
So take that off, and he's 120 points.
Feels bad.
Yeah.
And I called this like 3 months ago.
Oh,
And
no,
we haven't
you,
even got
Onod,
to his Legion yet.
Onod, told me he was fine.
No, and you're definitely not going to find a clip of me doing that.
Believe me, I am diligent enough. I will trawl through our 34 hours or whatever it is of combined video recording, and I will find the clip.
That is extremely sweaty of you. Let's compare him then to. So let's say that you did that. You dismounted him, so you got 6 free guys, and then we compare his stat line. So he's fight 6, right?
Yeah.
Strength 4, right?
Yeah.
Defense 7, right?
Yeah.
3 attacks, 3 wounds.
Yeah.
How much courage is he?
6.
6, and then he's 3, right?
Yeah.
And he has resolve, strike, strength, defense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Does he have an increased stand fast? Is that right?
Yeah. Board wide.
And does he increase models fight by 1, or is that the palanquin?
That's the palanquin.
Okay, so what else does he get? Just his base stat line.
So he gets phalanx, which is the Easterling rule. I can't remember what it is. And I think it's they can make way or something. Then he gets an elven made spear, which lets him feint, and he can shield. And also he's resistant to magic.
Okay, that exact profile exists in the game. Prince Imrahil.
Yeah, well, that's who I was comparing him to. That's who I was comparing to earlier. I mean, Imrahil gets the banner base, which is really good.
Yeah,
but yeah,
but
I think that
in Imrahil, you don't have your horse yet, and you don't have your lance. So 160 points for Imrahil.
Yeah, I know. I've done. I think like base without the palanquin, I think he's worth 100, 110 maybe. Like for that fight 6 fully kitted stuff. Like I know Ratabi's 110 and is arguably a bit better, but yeah. Anyway, like it's absurd value, and like a 12-inch banner is probably worth like 40 or 50 points, probably more. Like,
yeah. Just stick it up 20 points and see. And if people are still taking it, then it's fine, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think
190 or 200 would feel a lot better.
Yeah. I think
because I do get there's like skill in the way you use the base and stuff like that. Like I could appreciate if he was just like the one model who was a 12-inch span had all this shit, it would be more problematic. So I do get that, but like it's too much.
I think the fact that him and those new heroes are like such auto takes. Like you can run the non-Dragon Emperor version, but then you're going to run Ratabi and the Wizard.
Well, the thing was like nobody was saying that like Amda was like too weak as a hero or anything. Like Amda was really good, but like I just can't believe anybody would take him over.
I don't think Easterlings as a whole.
These things weren't
even with
good. Yeah. What they've given the Eastlings is they've given them now the variety that they can like stand up against someone like Gondor. Yeah. But I think maybe it's just a little bit too well priced. Whilst when you compare it to like Aragorn and Gondor, you're like really paying through the nose for that like big hero. I think we just spoke about the FAQ for longer than any of the Legendary Legions.
That's because we're more passionate, more passionate about it.
Yeah. Good. So next week we are going to be having a look at a few different lists that we are going to be taking to some tournaments and discussing general Middle-earth shiz.
Great.
You lost momentum so quickly in that sentence.
I was like, I don't know where I'm going with this. So there we go. Stay tuned. Please don't unsubscribe from us.
like our 54th subscriber who just was like, nope, I'm out. I've seen it.
I feel like after that episode, it's not a case of asking people to like and subscribe. It's saying, please don't dislike and unsubscribe. Like, we get it. It was a dud episode, all right? But we had to do it. We had to do it to complete it. Otherwise, we wouldn't have done them all.
So we'll be doing next episode with Sebastian.
So we've gone for Sebastian.
I knew he would.
He's approved Sebastian.
I thought it was a good choice.
Yeah. We'll have to edit.
You make him a little hedgehog.
Yeah, on the desk.
That's so cute.
Cool. Do I have time to draw that?
Yes, you do.
Yes, you do.
I'll think about it.
Yeah. Or you could just get like a PNG or a JPEG of a hedgehog and just
whack it in the picture frame. That's the budget version if I didn't have time.
and we'll do a little mouth that.
Yeah. Yes. So that's what we'll be doing. Ta-ta for now. It's goodbye from OT.
Bye.
OT's just got a look of rage on his face, by the way, listener. If
I
you're
look
wondering.
quite cheerful, actually. Well, I was going for cheerful.
It came across as psychopath. And it's goodbye from Mare.
Goodbye, everyone. Hope you enjoyed our ramble.
And it's goodbye from me. Bye.
Bye.